Hello everyone, my name is Olivia and welcome to a cozy week in my life. I have a week off of work and it is already Tuesday, so I did not film Saturday, Sunday, or Monday because I have been extremely sick, and I actually went to the doctor yesterday to see what is wrong, and we don't really know what's currently wrong with me, but I'm feeling a little bit better today, enough to be able to film this intro, which I'm really excited for because I really wanted to just share cozy moments in my life while I'm off of work, and I just wanted this to be a very soothing type of vlog. So I'm hoping to read, watch some movies, be really cozy, and just kind of rest as much as I can. But I have a couple of updates for you. I finished a read that became a new favorite of mine. I finally got a rug for my room, which I mentioned in my previous vlog, and I got a new purse to add to my collection from Teddy Blake. Teddy Blake is a company that has previously gifted me a purse, and it is a beautiful green purse that I love to match with all my green outfits because green is my favorite thing to wear currently. And I wanted to get myself a brown purse because I don't actually have one that is big enough to fit everything that I carry on the daily. I carry my iPad, my current read, my water bottle, my wallet, my pouch full of everything that I possibly need, and it all fits into this bag, and I'm so happy about it because I have wanted a beautiful classic purse for a while now, and Teddy Blake was kind enough to gift me this purse. This video is not sponsored by them, but I do want to tell you a little bit more about them because they are just such a wonderful company that creates their beautiful purses in Italy with Italian leather, and they come out with new designs on a monthly basis that you can check up on when you look at their website, and they have purses in a rainbow of colors. This is the Bella Pomellato 15-inch. It is made with this beautiful Italian leather that is sturdy, it will not crack, it will not fall apart like pleather does, which I'm not a big fan of because they are worn down so easily. So I'm really happy that Teddy Blake was able to reach out to me to send me a beautiful luxury purse without the luxury price. So if you want to check out Teddy Blake to explore all their different purses and their different designs, be sure to click the link in my bio and use my code, which will be featured right here, to get $30 off your next order. So thank you so much to Teddy Blake for gifting me this beautiful purse. I'm going to try and style it with different outfits this week. So let's get into the read that I finished last night that became a new favorite of mine, and it is the only graphic novel that I have read that almost made me cry. And it is Ballad for Sophie by Felipe Melo, and this is by a Portuguese writer, and this was actually recommended to me over on Books Unbound, which is my friend Ariel Bissette's book podcast. Ariel and Raylene, who are both the hosts for the podcast, always recommend this graphic novel to people, and I've heard them recommend it so often that I was like, okay, I'm going to finally read it because I wanted to read something short and quick that would give me instant gratification because I have been kind of in a book slump. I broke a book slump and then I fell quickly into one yet again, which is really frustrating. But I read Ballad for Sophie and I fell in love with this story. It follows Julien Dubois, and he is a pianist who was in a constant rivalry with a man named Francois Samson. And every time that Julien would do something, Francois would do it better and win. And they kind of had this unspoken in rivalry with each other, and the journalist is interviewing Julian towards the end of his life to kind of get his life story, to learn about the journey that he went on to become such a famous musician. And that's all you need to know about the graphic novel. The graphic novel has some of the prettiest art design that I've ever seen in a book, and it had such a beautiful plot that unfolded in a way that kept you intrigued and really drew out Julian's entire life story. And it explored his journey during World War II all the way up to the 60s and the 70s, and what it was like to be an artist who gets exploited by everyone around him. Is totally worth the hype. Highly recommend it. It is my new favorite graphic novel of all time. And the other update that I have is that I finally got a rug for my room. I literally searched up brown rug on Google, and like the third rug that I found in the image search was the rug that I wanted, and I really enjoy it. It is the perfect size for my room because I mentioned in my previous vlog on my channel that I wanted a rug for my room to protect the hardwood because the chair that I'm currently on rolls back and forth and it's slowly but surely wasting away the finish of the hardwood. So I wanted something that would protect my floor and also make my room a little bit cozier, and it feels dark academia. It feels like it fits my style and fits the detailing of my room. And I'm also glad that the rug journey has come to a close because I went to like 3 different stores to try and find a rug and I couldn't find one, but now I finally found one. It was really quick and easy to buy online. I really like the quality of it, and it's just the perfect rug. So that journey has come to a close. Now let's get into what I'm currently reading. I'm back in a book slump again. I was talking to my friend Jessica, who I went to the cafe with in the beginning of this vlog, and we were both talking about how we're in a media slump. We don't have any movies that we really want to watch, there aren't any shows that are capturing our attention, and there aren't any books that are capturing our attention as well. And we just feel like we're in an all-around slump where nothing is really hitting us the way that we want it to. And that's how I feel about books currently. I feel like every single book on my physical TBR isn't the type of book that I want to pick up, and I feel like every single book on my Libby, which is my digital library, isn't a book that I'm particularly interested in. I started Roman Stories by Jhumpa Lahiri, which is a short story collection of hers, and I wanted to get into it, but I'm only a couple of pages in, so I can't say whether or not I like it, but this is the current story that I am trying to get deeper into today. And then I'm listening to Unrealistic Expectations by Andie J. Christopher. This is a romance novel that I am listening to on audiobook, and it says when a relationship therapist gets dumped right before her new dating handbook hits shelves, she fake dates someone to save face in this spicy romantic comedy. I am almost halfway through it and I'm enjoying it so much. I really do love listening to romances on audiobook. I've listened to a couple now and I've really loved the way that they unfold and the way that they're narrated. And Unrealistic Expectations is such a fun story. I love the fake dating aspect to it. I love the fact that we follow a relationship therapist because the way that they discuss communication, the way that they discuss trust with the person that she's fake dating is really fun because he's a flawed character. He's not really well versed in having a long-term relationship. So the fact that they are fake dating and they are growing closer to one another is really fun. So I am enjoying one book, which is great, but reading physically, it's just not hitting for me. Who knows? Maybe I'll just really get into Roman Stories and finish this short story collection because I really do love Jhumpa Lahiri's descriptions and I love the way that she writes. Her prose is very purposeful and beautifully written. So maybe I will end up reading this, but I will let you know. I'm not feeling too good. I will be honest. I'm not feeling too hot right now. So I think what I'm gonna do is go sit down and rest, because whatever is plaguing me currently, it's really making me feel exhausted. And I have to be fully honest with you guys. That's the chronic illness life for you. It truly is chronic. But I will let you know what I end up reading. And my friend and I are also going to see The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes tonight, which I will give you my review on tomorrow because we're gonna get back pretty late. But I have not read the book. I don't know how it ends. I don't know anything about this story, and I'm really excited for it. Who knows, maybe watching the movie will inspire me to listen to the audiobook or something, but I don't think so. I just really don't like President Snow, and I just don't think I would enjoy being in his mind for such a long amount of time. But I'm really excited to watch the movie, especially because I don't have any preconceived notions about it. I don't have anything to compare it to. I'm really excited for Rachel Zegler's singing. I know she sings a lot in the movie, and I'm really excited to listen to that for the first time. I have been dodging spoilers left and right on Twitter because, wow, so many people are posting about it, and I'm really excited that people are posting about it because it brings back the nostalgia of the Hunger Games, but I'm also like deeply afraid of being spoiled, even though we already know what happens because this is the prequel to the Hunger Games, but still, I don't want to be spoiled. So it is the next day, and I saw the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes with my best friend, and I did not enjoy it. And I think waking up today, still thinking about the movie, I enjoyed it even less. So yesterday, I rated it a 3.5 stars, and I bumped it down to 2.5 stars because I did not read the book before seeing this movie, so I don't have all the information when it comes to Snow, and I feel like if you did not read the book, you did not really get everything that they were trying to convey in the story. There were so many plot points about the games, about Snow's past, his parents, the previous war that happened before the Hunger Games that were just kind of glided over and felt deeply rushed and underdeveloped in a way that left me feeling somewhat out of the loop. And I know that the book centers around Snow's point of view, and you get to understand his really twisted and gross mind where he's deeply prejudiced against those in the districts, and he sees Lucy Gray as an object and an animal that he can possess. And we don't see that in the movie. And it felt so superficial because I feel like we could have delved deeper into the horrors of Coriolanus Snow and his point of view and the way that he views others as objects rather than people. But instead, we followed this character that felt so one-dimensional, where we didn't understand his motivations. We didn't know why he was committing certain actions. You obviously had the preconceived notion that he is a villain, so he's going to act in a very morally gray way, but it felt so, I don't know, it felt like it was really lacking something in the depth that we could have gone into exploring this character. And again, like I said before, I think we could have explored another Hunger Games. I think we could have explored any other character. I don't really know how to describe my dislike for Snow and this movie. It just felt so pointless in a way. But I do have to say that I really enjoyed Lucy Gray. Lucy Gray as a character was fascinating. I think her connections to Katniss were my favorite parts of the film. I loved her songs, and I loved Rachel Zegler as Lucy Gray. She really embodied the role and was a fantastic singer, and I love the way that she sings these bluegrass songs that feel so deeply tied to District 12, and they were just fantastic. But overall, I felt very unimpressed by the story. It felt so, I don't know, so unintriguing to me in the way that it was rushed, in the way that it was executed. Let me know what you thought about the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, especially if you read the novel and you compared it to the movie. How did you feel about the lack of Snow's point of view and the lack of the exploration of his internal monologue? Because I think that was such a powerful piece to explore how terrible he truly is, even from the beginning of his life. And to not include that in the film and not include maybe a voiceover made the film feel kind of like we were supposed to feel bad for Snow or understand his motivations. But in a way, I was like, why are we following him? Why wouldn't we follow Lucy Gray? I think if this whole entire story was from Lucy Gray's point of view and her experience with Snow, it would have been a much more compelling story overall. But I digress. I want to move on and talk about something that's also disappointing me. My current read. Yeah. I'm in a slump all around. I am not enjoying the movies that I've seen, and I'm not enjoying this story collection. I'm on the third story of this entire collection, and they're just very forgettable. They're not gripping me, they're not leaving an impression. I'm probably going to skip around with these stories that I'm not connecting with because I don't want to waste my time reading something that I'm just not enjoying. Like the previous story that I read was about a man who's like enamored by this woman that he has a singular conversation with at a party, and he's like, she's the most interesting woman in the world. And it was a very basic conversation. And also, he's married. He's like, I'm not cheating on my wife, but you're obsessing over this other woman in a way that feels very sexual. And I just was like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this story, so I'm moving on to the next one, and I'm hoping I'll like some of these stories in this collection, but overall, for the first 3 stories that I've read, they have not stuck with me, and right after I finished them, I'm like, wait, what did I just read? So I DNF'd romance stories, and I ended up reading in 2 sittings a nonfiction that is on my physical TBR. Romance stories, like I said in a previous clip, I was not connecting to the first 3 stories, and the idea of starting the 4th just was not appealing to me, and I just was dreading it. So I thought to myself, why force myself to finish a book if I'm not enjoying it? I might as well DNF it and start another book. And I thought to myself, all the books that I'm picking up, the prose is just not gripping me. Why not start a nonfiction that has been on my TBR for a long time? And it is Illness: How Young Women with Serious Health Issues Navigate Work, Relationships, and the Pressure to Just Seem Fine. And this is only 200 pages, and I started it last night and finished it this morning. And it is a fantastic, diverse nonfiction exploring women's experiences being chronically ill in the work environment, in romantic relationships, in the doctor's office, etc. I found it to not only be incredibly relatable and insightful, but also just an engaging read exploring all the different facets of what it's like to be chronically ill. And while this does primarily focus around more serious health issues like cancer, I still found myself relating to the text and the interviews that were conducted with people of all races, sexualities, and genders. And I found it to be a fascinating read as a chronically ill person who is currently going through a major health issue. And I wanted to read a quote from it that I highlighted that I thought was just really relatable. And the quote says, "I was starting to feel like a much older person. A person trying to just have fun and start my career, but who kept tripping over an unusual amount of shit. My one checkup a year interaction with doctors turned into several appointments every few weeks." And I found that passage to be really relatable because I have been going to doctors so often this year, and it is really impacting my finances, but also the way that I perform at my job. And I found it to be really important to seek out texts like this to not only validate myself, but to remind myself that I'm not alone, and to further remind myself that there are people going through even more serious health conditions. All my health issues are very tame compared to the ones in this book, and that was something that I needed to remind myself of, because you can get really isolated and really down in the dumps when you're chronically ill and you feel like it's the end of the world. And I think reminding yourself that 1, you're not alone, and 2, some people are going through even more difficult circumstances is something that you need to really pull yourself out of that funk and be like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one going through this. Some people even have it worse. I'm really grateful for the health that I do have, even though it's not the best. So I really enjoyed this nonfiction. I think if you're chronically ill and you want to read up more on the way that other people feel about being chronically ill, I would pick this up. It was really satisfying to be able to finish a book that has been on my TBR for so long, and a book that is really short because I was able to speed through it really quickly. I also forgot to say I am around 55% through Unrealistic Expectations by Andie J. Christopher, the book that I'm listening to on audiobook, and the main characters are starting to realize that their fake dating romance is slowly bleeding into a real romance, and it is just so satisfying. And yeah, I just really love listening to a romance book on audiobook. It truly depends if the narrative narrator is making the dialogue feel cheesy in its delivery, but January Lavoie, who is my favorite audiobook narrator, narrates this audiobook, so I knew I was going to love it. They also narrate the Diviners series by Libba Bray, and those audiobooks are absolutely fantastic. So I'm loving Unrealistic Expectations, and now I think I'm going to start a book from Libby that has been on hold, which is You Again, which is a romance that is based off of When Harry Met Sally, but the roles are reversed. So our main character, Ari, is a comedian and she is dating a woman, and then the love interest is also dating the same woman, and they realize that they are being cheated on with each other, and I think they become enemies and then slowly but surely start to fall in love with each other. What really got to me was the When Harry Met Sally comparison, but also the cover, because the cover is beautiful. But then I was looking on Goodreads and I saw that people really did not enjoy the actions that these characters take throughout the story, and it's a pretty long story, so I'm like, what do they do that annoys readers so much? And I'm wondering if I won't enjoy this story. I'm only like 6 pages into it, so I don't have anything to say. Maybe that'll be another book I DNF, but that's what I'm starting today, and I really hope I enjoy it because I do not want to DNF yet another book. But I don't know, some people either love that story or hate it, and I really hope I'm on the side of loving that story because it has the perfect fall vibes. It feels like When Harry Met Sally, it's set in New York, and I just want all of those vibes together to be a perfect read. So we have come to the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed this cozy week in my life. It kind of went off the rails because I wasn't feeling well and I still don't feel well, and I wanted this cozy vlog to be something so much more exciting. I wanted to go to different places throughout the week, and I'm kind of sad that I wasn't able to do that, but I also just have to learn to roll with the punches and deal with the current situation that I'm in, and that situation is that I'm not feeling well, so I wanted to make things a little bit more low-key. So I hope you don't mind seeing that in this vlog, but I did end up starting and DNFing and finishing so many different books, and while I did not finish Unrealistic Expectations in this vlog, I'm really excited to be able to do that in the coming week because I am really enjoying it and I cannot wait to finish it. And while I did not get too deep into You Again, I think I'm around 10% into it, I'm really enjoying the writing style. It is quick, it is witty. These two main characters very much do not like each other from their initial meeting, and I'm excited to see how their relationship grows throughout the years. But I am really excited that I was able to finish two amazing reads like Ballad for Sophie and Invisible, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you have any vlog ideas that you would like for me to do in the future, I would love to get your ideas down below in the comments. And if you have stayed this far in the video, leave a autumn leaf emoji down below in the comments so we can see who stays for the longest in all my videos. If you do, I appreciate it so much, and I hope to see you around in a new video very soon, and have a good day everyone. Bye!